The protest didn't materialize on Sunday either. Thank goodness we have not seen the kind of violence that so many feared. What we are seeing right now is the military portion of the parade as the president's motorcade is now approaching the White House. As we said, it's going to be a very shortened parade this time around, at least the portion in Washington. There'll be a virtual parade with representation from all over the country, as we saw in that recreation of the roll call during the Democratic National Convention this summer. Mary Bruce, you're down there, I think, on close to 15th Street. Can you see the parade approaching at this point?
I can, George. They're just about to pass me here any moment now. This, I have to say, besides the swearing in and the president's speech, this is what most people think of when they think of an inauguration, a parade. It simply is not an inauguration until you hear that drum line. I can hear them now approaching. This, of course, is the presidential escort. We are going to see members of all branches of the military represented. And then you're going to be hearing the drum line from the University of Delaware, Joe Biden's alma mater. I don't need to stress, or don't think I can stress enough, just how much Joe Biden loves Delaware, and that will be on display again here. And then Kamala Harris with the Howard University drum line. It is going to be, if you've never heard the Howard University drum line, you are in for a treat. Not suggesting it's a competition, but Howard University's drum line is pretty tough to beat here. They have paused now right in front of the Treasury building. They will be continuing down Pennsylvania Avenue. As you mentioned, this is a very, very short abbreviated parade. For those who aren't familiar, it's really just, the stretch of a few city blocks here. 4 or 5 blocks if you're thinking of any downtown U.S. city. But it does give them a chance to not only honor the military, but for a bit of that sense of the inauguration parade. There, of course, the biggest thing missing is the crowd. There is no crowd here. It is just the military honor guard, us members of the press corps. I can tell you we went through several layers of security to get here. We are in Lafayette Park, is right in front of me. But just, a remarkable scene here to see a bit of a taste of what we think of as a traditional inauguration, George.
Just a taste, Mary Bruce. Cecilia Vega already at the White House, or just outside the White House right now. After the parade, the president's going to go to the office, sign those executive orders, get to work. Many White House staffers already in place.
I was just going to tell you that, George, and in fact, I was texting with a couple of them, trying to get a hold of them, but they're not responding, so they're probably busy. This is the point where they're literally trying to find the restrooms. They are, for those who've never been in this White House before, and some on his team have been inside here in this building, but they're finding their offices. They're figuring out how to log into the computers. It's the real work of making a government run that is happening. And I can tell you, a minute after Joe Biden was sworn in today, those immediate circle of staffers that's going to be in this White House today came over here and started to get to work. We do know that there is going to be a significantly reduced footprint in terms of West Wing staff that's in this building on a regular basis because of COVID precautions. And what a difference, George. I obviously covered the Trump White House too, and how often we saw staffers who were not wearing masks. It wasn't, not only was it not required, it wasn't acceptable practice. Donald Trump frowned on it for so long. But I tell you, I'm here on this riser with a number of people. We're all 6 feet apart, but we've been warned that we have to wear masks unless we're talking to you. And not only do we have to wear masks here, they're telling us they have to be a certain kind. They want us to wear N95 masks. So, and one of the first orders of business is this mask mandate that Joe Biden wants to sign that would require masks, encourage masks nationwide, but require them on federal property, of which obviously we're standing on right now.
Cecilia Vega, the president is doing it now to set a good example. He believes it's important for Americans to be wearing masks all the time during this pandemic. At the beginning of the campaign, it was real fear. Their greatest fear in that campaign was that he would contract COVID.
George, and critics of Joe Biden would say that he got a little bit of an easy pass during the campaign because of that the campaign sheltered him, that they didn't have him in front of reporters, at least in very many unscripted moments. That you remember Donald Trump repeatedly said that he was in his basement. They were asking, where's Joe Biden? And because that's the campaign did want to keep him away from people. He's 78 years old. He was significantly at risk in the high-risk